We have a codified law to control it, but it is basically a borderless world. So what will be the area or the jurisdictions where one can file a complaint? So that has been defined under Section 75 of Information Act. Then we have confiscation. If in a crime some data are connected or anything is there, so in a device or a media, so that media can be confiscated and things can be extracted from that confiscated devices. We have Section 77A, wherein if a crime has been committed, and later on, if somebody wants to withdraw the complaint, and what will be the mode of complaint when it is available and when it is not available. These are all, let's say, for example, crime up to 3 years is compoundable. So anybody can file a complaint except this crime against women, children, or against the nations. There are, if the offense has punishment up to maximum 3 years, in that case, it's a compoundable, and the complainant himself can file a complaint to compound the complaint. So these are the provisions are there. Then we have the up to three offenses which has got a maximum punishment up to 3 years are bailable in nature. Then we have Section 78, which speaks about the investigations by an inspector and above rank officer. Whenever you are filing a complaint, previously it was a DSP and above rank officer. Now presently an investigating inspector and above rank officer. We have Section 80, which speaks about search, arrest, search, seizure. That means if there is a reasonable suspicion that a crime has already been committed or is being committed or about to be committed, in all these cases, we have provision Section 80. Investigating officers straightway enter into the PO, search and arrest without any warrant of any persons who is responsibly suspected or committed or committing or about to commit any crime under these provisions. So we have a provision of what are the offenses starting from Section 66 IT Act till Section 70. And within this periphery, we have different type of crimes been for which different type of offenses been provided. And we have Section 84A, which speaks about the how the mode of encryption, mode and methods of encryption is available in India. Section 77 is telling about that if a crime being committed, and we have, for that reason, we have IPC previously, presently BNS, and we can apply BNS as well as if it is there is a scope for Information Technology Act, you can also apply Information Technology Act. So they will run not conjointly and they'll not derogatory to each other. They will work as a complementary to each other. So there are different cases, say for example, um, old cases, but this has helped us a lot. But any crime related to cybercrime and other, if there is a provision for in a book about the about the investigation be done through or applying a penal provision from Information Technology Act, then we have to investigate. An officer has to investigate the case under Information Technology Act, not in any other act like IPC or previously and presently BNS. So these are the provisions are there. We have one thing is very important to just discuss that in the virtual world, nobody can escape. There is always a chance that he might be caught if he commits a crime, because there is a question or a term called traceability. So, say for example, somebody made a post against any person, or make a fake Facebook account, and investigating, and he filed a complaint at at the PS. And the first thing officer has to do is to make a start a investigation, and within that investigation, first step is to collect the URL that www.http at the rate blah 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 whatever is there. That URL itself speaks about, if you take the middle part of the URL, it speaks about the domain name. So you can have the domain name and apply that domain name, and with the help of that domain, you can go to the company providing the domain name and his nodal or competent officer. You can ask questions about the IP address or the service or the Skype or the user whom the IP has been allocated. And after this information been obtained, then we can have that IP, and then from that IP we can go for, say for example, I have made a Facebook account from in anybody's name, and then from that Facebook account we can ask the Facebook to provide us the login details, that login IP and other things. They can provide the IP address, and you can put this IP address to IPLOOKUP or any other free resources, and you can get the those the ISP, internet service provider, who has allocated those IP addresses, and therefrom we can take the name or details of the ISP, and then we can ask those ISP to provide the IP log and other documents. And in that IP log, we can have mobile number, we can have details of the things, and where even the address of the user. Say, for example, I have a mobile number and I'm using an internet using my mobile data. So my number is registered with that of the CAF, for which the my telecom company has provided me with an IP address. So you can get the IP address, get the number, name of the service provider, and then we can go to the approach to the service provider to obtain the details of the connections, in whose name it is connected, and then the investigating agency can reach to the house of the person who the number is allocated. So these are the things actually nobody can escape from this world. That is definitely unless and unless the person is using a Tor or a very powerful, highly encrypted VPN and all this. So we have open source ideas, we have forensics ideas, and these are there always. We have different type of crime in this cyber world. It can be identity theft, spam or cyber stalking, infringement of privacy. Hacking, we have different type of hacking, and we are all concerned about black hat hacking because it's a crime. We have the concept of cyber terrorism. So we are thinking of, can terrorism in attack be made, a terrorist attack be made with the help of some software or some data? And the answer is yes. And there is be more dangerous than real AK-47 carrying terrorist. So this cyber terrorism is one of the crime. And then we have in section 66, if we have cyber terrorism been defined, and the maximum amount of punishment is life imprisonment provisions, which got the maximum amount of punishment in India. So we have child pornography, you know all about pornography and other data, cyber warfare, cyber squatting, economic of espionage, software piracy and other copyright violations, issues, computer forgery and counterfeiting, virus and worms attack, sabotage and all the extortions by using. So we all aware of ransomware attack in our I think maybe 7 or 10 years earlier incident happened throughout India, throughout the world. So there was an extortion using some software applications. And then we have phishing and other cyber frauds. We have defamation, hate speech, racist blogs, and xenophobic propagandas there. Online gaming is one of the gaming and gambling. Both are becoming a menace to the society. We have email spoofing, we have data deebling, we have web jacking, we have email bombing. So different kind of things are there. The mobile is one of the most important device which helps criminal to commit a crime. It helps the fraudster to collect our data, and using those data, they can go for a phishing attack, or they can go for any ransomware attack. All this type of attack they can do. So in any kind of cybercrime, it can be against the property, it can be against the person, it can be against the nation. So for different type of things, we have different type of penal provisions. And if we want to know the larger perspective of what is cyber law in India, we have Information Technology Act, as I already told, 2000. Then we have an amended act 2008. Then we have some rules under, there are huge rules, lot of rules. Rules are keep coming in days to come. So there are a lot of rules under Information Technology Act, and we have amendment in previously major criminal major act. Now in that is in BNSS, the new criminal law. It has got a huge changes with respect to the electronic evidence and other related cyber and other things, because the BNSS has got and BNS and all this and BSA, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, these has included a lot of provisions regarding the electronic document and how to deal with those documents, what are different kind of punishment and all these things. So we have, if you go by the subject matter, if we can have chapter one, chapter one we have short title, excellent commitment and application and definitions. We have digital signature and electronic signature in chapter 2. We have in chapter 3 electronic governance. We have in chapter 4 the acknowledgement and services. We have in chapter 5 secure record and signatures. So the concept of digital signature, electronic signature has been also amended into. And these are the things in we can have. What is the definition of secure digital signature? How are digital signature certifying authorities are liable to the law? Competent authorities are there. What are the provisions of their infringement, both in contravention and the offense? See, in Information Technology Act, we have two type of things. One is contravention and another is offenses. What is contravention? So you are crossing the road. When you are crossing the road, there is a car coming speeding with a huge speed. And when the car comes to the zebra crossing, it is the duty of the car to see what is the signal been reflected in the devices. So the divers saw that the signal was dead. In spite of that, he continued driving the car. So this is a contravention. And if this contravention in doing so, if somebody is hit and then anything happen, injury or anything happen, this is as a negligent driving, then it becomes an offense. So contravention when we are not following any rule or law and less harmful in nature and probably civil in nature. And then another thing is that of offense. In that case, in every offense of cyber laws, clearly definitions been given. There has to be a fraudulent purpose and fraudulent intention, an unlawful gain, an unlawful loss concept has to come. So then only the concept of mens rea will come, and then mens rea will include it into mm, offense. So offense, contravention are different thing. And in Information Technology Act, we have two separate things. One is the offense and another is the contravention. So electronic signature certificates concept are there. Duties of subscriber. What is the duties of the subscriber? Then we have previously in chapter 7 we have electronic signature certificates. We have laws on chapter 8, the duties of subscriber, means who are subscribed to the digital signatures and all this. So we have in chapter 9 of the said act talks about penalties and adjudications for various offenses. And then we have in chapter 9 and chapter 10, cyber appellate tribunal. So if anybody makes we had section 43 and 43A. 43A has been repealed by application of DPDP, the Data Privacy Act, and we have 43 nowadays. So nobody can access in your system without your proper permissions, your mail, your account, and everything. If they infringe, if they infringe in that case, it's a contravention, and these are there are monetary punishment up to 5 crore rupees in each and every contraventions are there. So there are chapter 11 of the said act talks about various offenses. We have 12 is a concept of intermediaries. So intermediaries is actually anything who are providing any service in online. So everybody, say for example, Facebook is an intermediary, Vodafone is an intermediary because they are all providing an online service. So we have chapter 12A, is an amended chapter here where you can find the examiners of electronic evidence. We have chapter 13, that is a miscellaneous provisions. So these 13 and one amended, totaling 14 chapter in Information Technology Act, is the structure of the Information Technology Act. And there are different provisions are there which may not be directly very fruitful to now today to discuss, but there are provisions. Say, for example, if you are sending a mail or anything to a person, if there is a dispute that he has not received the mail, so what are the law are going to invoke? So section 11, 12, and 13, the concept of proper service. So these are there. So we have audit of document in electronic format, publications of rules and regulations are there. So we have retention of electronic records concept. We have use of electronic records and electronic signature governance, all these. So we have these section 10A, which is important. So the more than 89, nearly 80 to 90% transaction every day in India are being done through virtual world. It may be
আচ্ছা
net
আচ্ছা,
banking, it may
কিবোর্ডেরটা
be mobile
ফাইন,
banking or anything
কিবোর্ডটা
else.
পেয়েছি, তাহলে
So
তোমাকে এখন
due to
গিটারেই
huge
ভর্তি
amount of
করাচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে?
transaction being done online, so the most important question which comes to in our mind, what is the definition of electronic record, and how this electronic record, how the electronic agreement is being executed. So the important provision comes is section 10A, wherein, say for example, you are purchasing something on Flipkart or Amazon or anything. When you are purchasing something and ultimately you paid the amount and obtain the product and all this, a complete agreement is being executed. So when a complete agreement is being executed or effected, then we have, say for example, offer, acceptance, consideration. These are small ingredients of every contract, be it physical world, be it in virtual world. So if any part of this contract, or say for example, you are going to an e-commerce site, and there are a lot of product, you have been shown some picture of that products. So if select one of them among all these things. So these display effects or these